I gave 6 AI models the exact same writing assignment. One fight scene, same prompt, same constraints, no second tries. Then I scored all 6 on things English teachers actually measure: reading level, vocabulary, rhythm, clichés, the works. The machine crowned a winner. I read all 6 and disagreed with it. We'll get to that. Here's the prompt: 300 words, a fight scene in a soap factory. The hero is Doreen, 58, a quality control inspector who hates her job. Her opponent is a corporate spy in a wetsuit. Present tense, no adverbs, no similes using the word like. One moment of unexpected tenderness. End on a single sentence. Oh, and stick around because 2 brand new models dropped while I was editing this video. So there's a bonus round at the end. We start with Grok. Grok wrote a fight scene the way a security camera would write a fight scene. Things happen, then more things happen. He turns and drives his elbow into her side. She staggers into the cart of testing equipment. Beakers fall and break on the floor. It's accurate, but so is a court report. The analysis score agrees. 65, dead last of all of the models, and the thinnest vocabulary of the group. It keeps reusing the same plain words. There's no pulse, no emotion. The one time a knife appears, it lands with all the tension of a man returning a library book. That's the floor of these models. That was the bottom. Next, the dark horse, Gemma, Google's small open model. It's free, and it beat Grok. 71 to 65. The only trillionaire in the room lost to the AI model that I could run on a potato. And Gemma's version is not bad. There's short, punchy sentences. There's a real moment where the main character brushes wet hair off the kid's face and sees a lost son. But there's no build. The fight doesn't escalate. It just lists events until a pile of soap bars falls on the other guy. Also, the brief said 300 words. Gemma turned in 227 and clocked out early. Honestly, relatable. But it's the only one that turned in that few words for this test. Now we get to Kimmy. On paper, a step up. 72, rich vocabulary, 8 sensory hits. More than anyone, actually. On the page, it reads like a grocery list of a fight. She swings. The tray connects with his shoulder. He stumbles. Bottles shatter. Every sentence the same length, the same beat, over and over, until your ear goes numb. And this is exactly where the scorecard and I started to split. Kimmy packs in sensory words, so the metric rewards it. But a pile of vivid words isn't immersion. The tenderness even lands. Go, she whispers, and let him run. It's just boxed in by machine gun sentences that never breathe. 2 down, 4 to go, and the scores are weirdly close. Gemini ties for the top score, 73, and technically it earns it. Clean prose, great sensory detail, follows every rule. It also commits the funniest crime in this entire experiment. The prompt asks for a moment of unexpected tenderness, so Doreen wipes a smudge off the spy's cheek, gives his jaw a soft maternal pat, his eyes soften, and then she immediately slams a brick of lye soap on his temple and files a contamination report. It followed the instruction to the letter. Emotionally, it's assault with a deadly bar of soap. I laughed out loud. It might still be my 3rd favorite because at least things happened on purpose. That's 40 of the 6, by the way, who decided the spy was secretly a sad young man with a tragic backstory. Which brings us to ChatGPT. 73, top of the board. And unlike the others, it earned the spot by being good in a way that's hard to fake. I actually didn't expect ChatGPT to be this high in this experiment. The fight has cause and effect. The dialogue has teeth. You crossed 3 counties for batch records? Her whole bitter career fits on one line about supervisors who call her young lady. If you're scoring an English exam, ChatGPT wins. It's tight, it's witty, it does the job. The robot picked it, and the robot isn't wrong. Not exactly. Because this is where I break with my own scorecard. Claude came in 4th on points. Lower vocabulary score than Kimmy. The fewest sensory words of anyone, 3. By the numbers, mid-pack. But I'd publish it over every other scene here without blinking. Read it out loud and you hear it. The fight actually escalates. Grab, counter, reversal. A real moment where she's pinned and could lose. The tenderness isn't a checkbox. The last line just sits there and aches. There's not more words, it's better choices. And there's one number on that scorecard that actually caught the difference. Here's the board. ChatGPT and Gemini tied at 73. Kimmy and Claude at 72. Gemma 71. Grok alone in the basement at 65. 5 of the 6 inside 2 points. The scientific test basically declared a draw. But look at one metric. Sentence rhythm. How much the sentence lengths vary. The 2 scenes I'd actually published, Claude and ChatGPT, have the only 2 rhythm scores that aren't flat. Every choppy one I bounced off, Kimmy, Gemini, Gemma, monotone. The machine could feel the difference. So could I. It just didn't weigh it enough because it was busy counting sensory words and rewarding a thesaurus. So here's the verdict. If you want the highest score, ChatGPT. If you want a scene a reader actually feels, the escalation, the restraint, the ending that lands, Claude crushed it. And the leaderboard never saw it coming. A score can measure the bricks. It can't tell you if the house is worth living in, which is the whole point. These models can all write a competent paragraph. Not one of them can decide what's good, escalate a scene, or kill a cliché it's in love with. At least not yet. That part's still you. While I was still editing this video, both labs shipped brand new flagship models because of course they did. So bonus round. Same soap factory, same Doreen, same rules, one try each. The new ChatGPT, 72. 1 point lower than the old one. Solid scene. There's a genuinely great moment where she saves his life and says, I hate paperwork. But the scoreboard didn't move. The new Claude, 78. Highest score anyone has posted. The first model to break out of that 65 to 73 pack. And it did it with the second best rhythm in the field. Richer vocabulary, more sensory detail, perfect compliance. Which feels really good because that's the model I picked on taste alone when the scoreboard said it was fourth. Its successor just won on points too. The scoreboard finally caught up. Now, before anybody says it, yes, this scoreboard has serious flaws. A lot of people gave me great feedback on my last video, and someone in my comments tested it better than I could. He took my other scoring tool, which is very similar to this one, and fed it public domain classics, real literature, books that outlived their authors, and it gave them a low score. He reverse engineered the thing. He read the code, learned exactly what it rewards, and had an AI write a story that was built to get a perfect score. And it got 100 out of 100 on the analyzer. And even better, that story genuinely impressed me, and the commenter too. I mean, it was a really good story. We both wanted to read more. So the tool is backwards in both directions. It punishes the classics, and I tested this myself. It can be gamed by nonsense. I'll show you. I wanted to know if I could cheat my own scorecard, so I wrote this. It has no characters, no story, nothing happens. It's just the right words at the right density with varied sentence lengths. Watch. 100 out of 100. Perfect score. The best scoring writing in this entire video is a paragraph about a Scarlet Foreman tasting bitter smoke, which is either the funniest thing I've ever written or the most disheartening. Honestly, it might be both. Good writing and good story turned out to be two different things, and only one of them fits in a spreadsheet. Trust the scores for grammar. Trust yourself for everything else that matters. That's only the beginning, because what you need next is a system that works. And that's why I tested every AI workflow for authors. Find out which one crushed it.